Yeah, so that's comma 3 up there.
Wow. Oh, it actually displays.
Yeah, it always has the augmented reality view.
Is that routing a path already?
It always does. Yeah.
Oh, it's constantly routing.
Yeah, it's like the only output you'll visually see because it's pure vision. So
Right.
it doesn't really output bars or like objects like Teslas do. It just plans a path. Wow. That's it. So
That's fascinating.
yeah, it's interesting. If I put on experimental mode, you see it'll go in widescreen and
Ultra wide.
you'll see like even when I'm coming up to like a speed bump, we'll start to brake because it sees a speed bump. See?
Oh.
And then it'll go green after you
Whoa.
go by it. So that's how it works.
So you could activate it here?
I could.
So
So you
it's-
see it's looking at me.
What? Oh, that's cool.
You just activate it like autopilot, you know?
So now it's active.
Yeah. It's hands-free, you know, there's no
What?
wheel nag, and it also sees you at night.
Oh.
Because it has the infrared LEDs.
Oh, there's infrared.
yeah, so this
That's
has
a
the
huge
infrared
problem
filter.
on my car.
Yeah.
Every night it's like, pay attention, I can't see you, or attention monitoring available. Every time there's a lighting change.
Right. Yeah, and
It
then
switches.
because this has blind spots, and it'll just check the blind spot sensors. You know,
That was
it's like
perfect.
your car.
It did a good lane change, and it slowed down for them. This guy's,
Yeah.
of course, going super slow. It was
Right.
left lane.
Back over. But I mean, yeah, it's great. It's all end-to-end machine learning, vision in, vision out.
Changing lane. I like the way it labels it.
Yeah. So see, the outputs here, because the Tesla had the ability to display things, are displayed here. So I can still see the lane line outputs and the path here as if it's OEM. So that's what Aptera is going to do. Is like on the center display with OpenPilot, you'll have, for us, you won't have the screen, right? It will eventually have a fully integrated package. I mean, it's good. On my car, the brake's a little aggressive towards the end sometimes, but you'll see it's just like.
So does this update over the air?
Mhm.
Wow.
Let me put on experimental mode. So that's the mode. You'll see it'll start to slow down for these cars well in advance. You know, usually like a radar-based system, it won't be able to see stopped objects because the radar filters out everything that's stopped around you, which is like all the trees, all the road, blah, blah, blah. But because this is, you know, vision,
Wow.
it'll see a car really far away and see that its brake lights are on and start braking way before
Oh.
anything with radar ever would.
Based on
right?
the lights.
Yeah, just like, it's like,
Oh.
oh, there's stop cars.
That's much better. Yeah.
Tesla really does this to a level, but this is more end-to-end even than a Tesla approach, where it's like literally a model trained on pure vision inputs.
And it uses way less power, right?
Yeah,
This is like, what, 35 watts? Or
less than that.
Less than that.
It's like
Yeah.
6 or 7 watts, I think.
What?
Yeah, it's
That's-
ridiculous.
That's way too much. That can't.
What does a phone use?
I guess around that. You think this is similar power
This has an
consumption to a
840,
phone?
845 Snapdragon 845 processor. That's it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's nice because it has collaborative steering. So like, unlike on Tesla where you nudge, it'll just kick out of, you know,
Yeah.
auto steer. And this, if something's like a little too far to the left or the right, you just grab the wheel and nudge it,
And it won't
it'll
turn
go it'll go gray, and it'll like let you nudge it, and then you let go,
Oh.
it takes over again, and it has a smooth blend.
That's nice.
Which is pretty nice.
I like that. Because then you just make your changes. And
How do you turn it off? Just braking?
Just either braking or with the cruise control.
does it do turns?
It does turns.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's great. You know,
Honestly, even FSD is not that comfortable when it's doing turns and navigating like that. It's like, this is perfect for the highway stuff,
yeah.
which is what I'm going to spend most of my time in the Aptera doing.
I mean, the nice thing is like there's an option for those who want it. Well, not only for the system itself, but also you can have always on driver monitoring as well. So if you're like worried you're going to fall asleep and you're still driving manual, you can actually still have it alert if you're being distracted or if you fall asleep or whatever.
Wow.
Which is pretty neat.
I'm reckless. I'd probably turn that off. I'd just be like, nah, you just drive.
Yeah.
I'll just be along for the ride.
And let's so you can see it.
What?
It's on comma.ai, yeah.
That's so
Just
simple.
on their website.
Mhm.
How much is that?
$11.50, and then the harness is $50. It's not $10,000.
Yeah, it's a lot less than full self-driving.
Yeah, it is.
It's
And
incredible that it includes everything.
Yeah, it's all you need from a driver assistance system, right? So yeah, it uses USB-C, or it's called OBDC.
Oh,
So it has CAN lines going through this. This
brilliant.
port. For OEM, you'd obviously have an automotive grade connector, but this is a 180-degree
Wow,
lens.
that's wide.
And then this is a 40-degree lens, so it sees far away.
Okay.
And then this is another 180 degrees. So you can stitch the two together and you get a 360 degree, and it can kind of see out the windows too, so it'll eventually
Really?
be able to do some kind of blind spot monitor stuff directly.
That's
from
so
this.
cool.
Hook it up and mount it. turns on and you're good.
Will the Aptera have this module, or will it be a different kind of attachment?
There'll be, I think, some period of time where people can user install this
I see.
existing system, but then eventually we'll replace that bucket with one that has, I mean, the board is super tiny in this, actually. You know, you can take it apart and it's a 845 Snapdragon 845 system on module with a fan, heatsink on top. Obviously needs to draw more power and
it's right in the
heat.
windshield.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just making sure Aptera has the communications for this.
Communications up here, and then the power, just would put it in with cameras and you're good. I mean, it's pretty
It
off
feels
the
so
shelf.
much simpler than just routing cameras all over the car.
It is, and you don't need
with
a
a
radar.
whole custom silicon computer that consumes what, like 100 watts? It's like a meaningful amount of power. So self-driving can literally put a dent in your range. It's
it does.
Pretty substantial dent. I think hardware 4 uses more.
Right, and that's why Sentry mode drains the battery so much, because it has to activate the autopilot computer.
It does?
For Sentry mode.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so that's why you get like a lot of phantom drain with that on.
That was actually a lot more impressive than I realized. Like,
That's cool.
Seeing how intervene just a little bit and it reactivates, and then the path it maps out.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that it's mapping it in a parking lot and it's seeing speed bumps.
Always. It's cool. I mean, we didn't experience it today, but if there's a red light, it'll just slow down and stop at it, and when it's green, it'll just go. And it's all from vision trained on human driving. So like, it was never hard programmed to know even what that is, but it knows instinctively what speed bumps are and what lights and stop signs are just from humans.
That's what's attracted me to Aptera and these kinds of ideas so much, is learning how to get by with less. Like, if you can achieve the same job or 99% the same job with something that's 50% the cost or the complexity, you already have this autonomy debate between like, oh, Waymo has LiDAR, does Tesla need LiDAR? And Tesla's like, no, cameras are enough. Comma takes it one step further. They're like, well, that's probably too many cameras. You can just get by with this. I'm sure the goals are different. But.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, Comma wants to solve full self-driving too, but why add more cameras until that's the bottleneck? Like, still machine learning models are not good enough to utilize even the cameras that Teslas have. Based on that, like, this should be able to drive completely perfectly like a human, except like when there's a car in the blind spot. And it's like, okay, now we need a blind spot camera because we know that is the limiting factor. But like, 99% of the time you're looking straight forward, and it's still, the Tesla will still run over stuff or will miss things. This has the vision you need for like 99% of driving. Even at a full intersection, if it has a 180-degree lens, it can see full left, full right, straight forward.
Oh,
so even if you had a four-way stop, this hardware can see, all around at a four-way stop.
That makes so much more sense rather than trying to stitch together all those cameras. Just have
the calibration of that is such a pain too. Like, these are all fastened to the same PCB. Calibration between cameras is pretty uniform between units, whereas every Tesla, you have to drive, a couple hundred miles for it to like figure out.
And this is so much more upgradable too.
Yeah,
because it's such a simple component that you could just pop in, pop out.
It's not like AP3, AP4. It's like a crazy.
The computers are buried in here somewhere, and and then even if you find out there's an issue with the cameras, you got to pop out each one. Yeah, try to make it pretty and cosmetic and fit. But it's just
so that's what's been nice is like Comma 3, the 3S came out. Will eventually be, I'm sure, a Comma 4, a Comma 5, just with more compute. Like right now, compute's not the limiting factor, so why sell a device with a lot of compute? Yeah. Wait for the model to cap out this hardware generation. Yes. And they'll make something better. That's just how it's going to work. But it always uses the same standardized connector and can interface with, I think it's like 275 cars it interfaces with now.
That's a lot.
It's crazy. I mean, it's pretty much every car that has driver assistance.
And I'm sure even today, this can serve the same functionality as FSD, or at least enhanced autopilot.
For sure.
For 1/7 the price.
And you can retrofit it in your car. If you if you have like an EV6 or Steve has Ionic 6, it just works in there, and it's awesome.
Okay,
so it's retrofitable.
That's amazing. Thanks for showing us, guys. Appreciate it.